Hey, what's going on, everybody? I just wanted to share my pedalboard with you guys. My favorite thing on YouTube to watch is pedalboard rundowns, rig rundowns. I always fast forward to the pedalboard, so I'm really excited about this one. I've been working on it for a few years, and this is where I've landed so far, so let's get started. Clean signal is my Telecaster going into an orange OR15, and I've got everything at noon, except for the gain, which is basically at a 3.2, something like that. Nothing too high, just giving me a little bit of volume. So let's start with the beginning of the chain and work our way all the way to the end. First off is the Timmy, which gives me a little bit of boost. As you can hear, I'm not using it for breakup or anything, just cutting some low end and boosting the signal a little bit, so I can still play pretty clean. Next is the MXR Phase 90. Now, I've been using this as a wah pedal, so I don't use it in clean very much, although here's what it would sound like. Pretty, very pretty. By the way, I'm going to turn on the Keeley Halo chord just so that we have a little ambiance when we're doing this. Nice, very nice. Nice. But yeah, that's my wah pedal. I had a wah pedal, but I wanted to trim things down a lot, and I decided that that kind of mimicked it pretty well. So whenever I'm going kind of crazy, that's what I use it for. I basically just mess with the knob with my foot if I need a little bit less or more. And that's it. That's all I use that for. The vibrato is probably my favorite pedal on here right after the Nocturne. So I started with the Behringer vibrato. I found out through actually the JHS show. And I was looking for something to replace my chorus. I've always been a chorus guy and I wanted something different. Remove the dry signal, you've got vibrato. And I love my Behringer one. I kind of secretly love it more than the Wazacraft. It just sounds a little bit darker, a little bit more low end and less top end, but whatever. So I wanted a good enclosure, plus blue. Come on, guys. We got to have the color scheme going here. And I've run them very subtle. If I don't have any kind of ambience on it, you can barely tell it's there. And that's what I like about it. I set it to where when I turn it off, that's when you can tell it was there. So it's that subtle. But once you do add some delay, you can really hear it. And if I ever want to get a little extreme, I just put it on the custom mode. And it gives me that little bit more. So that's why I love the Wazacraft stuff. It's pretty cool. Next, we have the Wazacraft Blues Driver, my all-time favorite pedal, the Blues Driver. And I run it very subtle, so there's not a lot going on here. I make mistakes and I'm not editing them out. I'm going to leave them in because we're all human. And I'm kind of sick of the whole influencer thing where, oh, look at me and my perfect take. Whatever. Okay? We make mistakes here. We're human here. The only rule on the comments here is be yourself. So if you're going to be a dick, if you're going to be nice, do it. I'm not going to censor you. I'm not going to delete your shit. Just be yourself. So I'm being myself and I'm making mistakes. alternate between that and the ODR1 for a little bit more mid-range, a little bit more grit. And that's pretty much it for the gain staging. The animals fishing is as fun as fuzz. That's a mouthful. This I recently added in. I've been trying to find a kind of super over the top thing as far as drive goes that goes at the end of the chain. Something that responds well to having an overdrive behind it or something like that. I had a Boss Wazacraft DS1 here, and I just kind of used it as like a solo button, but I wanted more of a wall of sound rhythm thing. I'm not 100% if this is going to stay here, but I do love this pedal. I found it with my daughter at a guitar center. It was used. She picked it out because teddy bears, and I fell in love with it. It was my actual first real fuzz pedal that made me appreciate fuzz. So it's kind of a lot. So I've ended up using it for kind of leads that need a lot of sustain, but I still haven't quite found what I'm looking for. I was using a Mesa Boogie dual rectifier with this setup, and it was perfect, except for one thing: the fucking effects loop. It's either in parallel instead of serial or whatever. So this whole section with the Capistan, Halo, and Nocturne, the digital stuff, it just does not work. It has a limit. It distorts. I can't run them super wet. Apparently there's a mod you can do. There's a guy in town that can do it for me. It's like $100 or whatever. I can have the perfect tone I'm looking for. I just don't want to pay for the mod yet. And I'm worried that I'll do the mod and it just won't work anyway. So I went back to my old handy OR15 and it works well. So everything here is in the effects loop. These three pedals are the effects loop. Everything here from the Timmy to the volume pedal is going straight to the amp. And of course, we have the volume pedal, good old Ernie ball, which my daughter decorated to remind me of the family, of course, little Bluey. And this is, by the way, why I love the Timmy. I can have the Timmy on just by itself with a little delay, and it sounds so good. So let's go towards the effects loop section. We have the Strymon Capistan. Now, this has kind of become my dotted eighth note delay. 1, 2, 3. It can also work for slower stuff. It really just depends. If I want delay, that's what that's for. If I want a vibe, that's what the Halo core is for. So when I bought this on Reverb, I thought I was getting the newer one with the dotted eighth note. And I thought I'll just use this and the Nocturne and I'm good on my board. That's the only two pedals I'll have in the effects loop. This arrives in the mail and I realized this is the original limited edition because I wasn't paying attention because I was an idiot and I was excited. And it only has that Halo setting and then I think it's the quarter note setting. And it's like, I think serial number 34 out of 100 or 200, whatever. I kind of didn't know what to do then. I was like, am I going to return it and get the other one, or am I just going to keep it? I got a good deal on it. It was like, I think it was like $150, which is really good for these. These are like $250. So I looked at the El Capistan and said, I don't want to get rid of it. I just like having it. It's my favorite delay. So it gave me a reason, gave me an excuse to keep another delay on the board, and they stack very well. So I basically leave that on for a lot of stuff. Andy Timmons has really been rubbing off on me just with all the demos I've seen with these two pedals. I just say, man, he plays a blues driver and he has a little delay ambiance there. Like, he's a man after my own heart. So and then I can use that and layer it with the El Capistan. I do a lot of this monkey feeding. So I basically make that my ambience, and then the El Capistan is like the delay. Then we have the Nocturne. Now, I have this set up. Is it in the normal preset? Yeah. So I have this set up to be the same as the Halo core, but without the delay, which is what it's for. That's why it was created. And I can kind of see why he did that. So if I'm running this, so as you heard, I have the normal preset that is basically the Andy Timmons sound. And then I have a much more intense preset, which is where all the knobs are. I can go ahead and bring that down a pinch. I love that. I love that very much. And I wanted to take a second to share a little trick with all you married guys out there, because we buy a lot of gear, and I'm trying to use my channel to kind of get you to stop doing that. Be happy with what you have and stop buying gear. I know how it is. But what I did when I got the Animals fuzz pedal, my daughter saw it. We fell in love with it. I love the way it sounded. I got it. I sold another pedal that I wasn't using anymore. I can't even remember what it was. I think it was a Strymon. What was it? The Strymon Night Sky. I just wasn't using it, and I sold it, and I used the profits to cover me buying this pedal, which was only $100. But then I gave my wife $100, and I said, "Go have a girls' day with the little girl, have lunch, whatever you want, go shopping." That changed the game for me. So I think I'm raising a little girl, and I've noticed like they just don't like to feel left out. I don't think they want something big. I don't think they need $100. I think it's just, you got something, I want to get a little something too. So if you're married and you're trying to hoard gear and all that stuff, it helps if you sell something so you have a profit, buy your gear, and have money left over to give the wife. So my rule of thumb is like, if something costs $100, sell something for $200, buy something for $100, give the wife $50 to $75, put $25 away for the next purchase or something. But that will help you immensely to not have to deal with the guilt trip and all that stuff, unless you have a different arrangement. But we like to be pretty careful with our money around here, so. That's my board, guys. I love it very much. It's extremely fun. Oh, yeah, one more thing. Layering these is so much fun with the vibrato and everything. That's also... There we go. That's the whole board. That's everything I love about it. And by the way, this little foot switch just controls the reverb modes of the Nocturne. So that way I can just switch over to... Whoa. Switch over to the Nocturne setting, spring setting, and the Hall setting. I have no idea what that is. That keeps happening. I hope they do some sort of update for that, but it doesn't bother me. As long as you have the pedal off, it doesn't really matter. So I just... Oh, shit. It still does it with the pedal off. Damn. You better be glad I love this pedal. That's all I got to say, Robert. I love you, Robert Keeley, but that... I don't like that little... It like takes the last thing you played, and it just kind of like adds that in there. Anyway, go play guitar.